basically these are the three elements of charisma. When you think of charisma, what do you think a charismatic person is like?
Magnetic and
Talking loud,
wanted to say the
Loud, confident, okay?
For me, the person must have some kind of magic inside him that everybody seems to be attracted to that person.
yeah.
No matter what the person do, people like him. You cannot explain sometimes.
Someone with that magical element, someone who's able to influence somebody. Okay, so that's charisma. According to Olivia Cabane, she mentioned that charisma is not something that someone is born with. It is something that can be trained. So there are the three elements when it comes to charisma: power, warmth, and presence. So we're going to look at the first one first, power. When you think of a person who is charismatic, someone with power, what comes to your mind?
When it comes to power,
Yeah, when it comes to power. When you say that that person is charismatic because he has power, what does it mean?
command,
He know what he is doing. His me is clear. Okay, what else?
command of his
He
voice.
command. Okay. So have you ever seen speakers, right? Or just because that person has power, status, although he's a terrible presenter, people still listen to him, and all is like dead silence. Okay. So this is what we meant by power. For example, if a CEO of a large company speak, everybody quiet. Although whatever he say, it will become gold. Like for example, like everybody keep talking about Jack Ma right now. Jack Ma says this, Jack Ma says that, because he's Jack Ma. But if a different person who says the same thing, does it have the same impact?
Probably.
No. Yeah. So that's exactly power. Someone with status, credential, wealth, popularity, and all that. Okay. So when it comes to power, right, we can't wait to be the richest man on earth or to be the most powerful person on earth in order for us to have this charisma. So one of the ways is to boost our own confidence. How many of you would actually consider yourself, I think I'm quite confident, raise your hand. Okay. Who will feel like, I think that I'm not that confident, raise your hand. Okay. Who thinks that I don't think I have confidence at all, I suck? Raise your hand. No, huh? Okay.
Different aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different aspect.
Different aspect. Okay. When you say different aspect, what do you mean?
Obviously, no. Operation yes.
Okay. I would highlight that as confidence. Because he can accept and he knows what he's good at. He also knows what he's not that good at. That is considered confidence. There are many people, when it comes to strengths, right, they find it very difficult to write. When it comes to weakness of
Oh yeah.
yeah, okay. So let's try this activity. Write 10 strengths in 1 minute. So how does it feel like writing those 10 things? How does it feel like?
Great.
Like writing my
It
resume.
started easy and got harder towards the end.
Okay, why did it get harder?
Because I had a hard time realizing or accepting what my strengths were.
That's interesting. Why is it hard to accept those strengths?
It's kind of like, you know how they say about general knowledge? It's something that you think everyone knows or you think you know it, but you won't really have a point of comparison until you start talking to someone else. I feel like skills are in the same way because, I do a lot of different things every day. So to me, that just seems like a normal thing to do, but when put in front of a mirror or compared with someone else, then you really can see the contrast of what is and isn't a skill or your strengths.
I see. So what would you conclude from that?
You base your strengths off other people's strengths.
Yeah, I would say that also more towards, I would say that what I would measure as my strength would be something that is recognized by another person.
Okay, that's interesting. So you only consider something as a strength when other people recognize it.
More or less, yes.
What do you think about that? Do you think it's a good thing to have?
In the long run, I would say, or at least mentally, I would say it doesn't affect me because whether or not I acknowledge it as a skill does not affect me at the end of the day. It's just, how fast I can fill up my formula essentially. But, how I feel about myself or how I perceive things doesn't change.
So means that you only put down something as a strength if other people recognize it.
More or less.
Okay, interesting. Okay, anybody else? How does it feel like?
For me, I feel I'm very conceited, And say, oh, I'm good at this. I don't know whether I'm good or not. So when everybody express a little bit, they say, okay, I just have to just share, that's all.
You feel like you're bragging, you mean?
Bragging, oh, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. But I say, still not good. I still plenty to do. Okay, but anyway, since everybody share, we just put it down.
Okay. So when you first wrote this, you feel like, oh my god, am I like angkat bakul sendiri?
That's right.
Am I trying to show off? Am I being narcissistic and all that?
That's
But
right.
later on you realize that I'm just going to write it and see how things go. Okay. So this actually could some of the hindrance towards confidence, as we can see just now. One is you need people to validate something, then you feel confident about it. Another thing is that sometimes you feel that I don't dare to try something or I don't dare to do something because what if it looks like I overestimated myself?
Bragging.
What it looks like I'm bragging or trying too hard. Okay? So that could be one of the hindrance to confidence as well.